Hi everybody, I'm KHOU 11 Meteorologist Pat Cavlin here, just with a quick update on a severe thunderstorm that just popped up right along the Gulf Freeway here on the border of Harris and Galveston counties. Taking a look at radar, you can see, it's just in a terrible spot here in terms of roadways. So NASA 1, that's a road that typically sees a lot of flooding whenever we get heavy rain events sitting over that road for a long period of time. So that's a road that may be impacted here. Of course, the Gulf Freeway between Lamarck and League City getting it the worst right now. And also Texas 3, so the road's running parallel to the Gulf Freeway as well. And Texas 146. From Bay Cliff all the way down towards Lamarck. Dickinson right now also under the heaviest of the rainfall and a lot of lightning strikes here. So this severe thunderstorm warning in effect as we go through the next 30 minutes or so until 3:45. And the main two threats with this are damaging wind gusts and the potential for some small hail. But let's take a look at the wind gusts first. We changed the color palette here to show you what the winds look like inside the storm. And just about 5 minutes ago, we were seeing some pretty intense winds along FM 646 Road North here, so around the Santa Fe area, going up towards Dickinson. Winds were recorded around 60 to 65 miles per hour from the National Weather Service radar, which typically isn't a great indicator of winds within storms just because typically storms are far away from the radar site. But you can see this storm is right on top of the radar. So these are actually really good wind samples that we're getting here. So right now the winds have started to die down just a little bit, but still gusts upwards of 30, 35, 40, even close to 50 miles per hour. So just below severe limits in terms of what we're seeing out there at this exact moment. But that being said, we could get gusts within this storm that aren't being picked up by radar just because it's in between radar scans. Let's take a look at the hail threat. We'll switch this over to our hail tracker, and I didn't see anything super remarkable, and there's nothing really showing up there right now. As we look at the color table here, we're barely talking about pea-sized hail, so maybe some pea-sized hail, maybe some marble-sized hail, but it's really, I think, just a wind and a lightning threat. So as we get you back over to the radar image and show you what's going on, just a lot of heavy rain here along Texas 146, again between Bay Cliff going all the way down towards Lamarck, and then along Texas 3 going through Dickinson into League City. So this is northern Galveston County on the border of Harris County here, and along the Gulf Freeway. What an awful time for this here just before the start of the evening commute, especially if you're traveling north on this towards the city, because this storm is kind of drifting in that direction. All these storms here, there's more storms back towards the west. All of these storms are very slowly kind of drifting towards the city. We'll see if they keep together, but right now this is the only severe warning that we've got out there. And again, it's for the chance to see some 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe some small hail. There was a hail signature on this storm earlier on, right before they issued that warning, and that's actually probably why they pulled the trigger on the warning. But with these storms, when they're slow moving like this, what they do is they tend to kind of collapse on themselves, and that's when you get the risk for these damaging wind gusts. And we actually had a signature showing that again about 10 minutes ago with that 60 mile per hour wind recording out towards the Santa Fe area going up towards Dickinson. So all the red here on the map indicating just torrential rainfall, and it's a really slow moving storm as well. We can actually show you how much rain has fallen in this area in just the last hour, and the numbers are pretty impressive here, especially right over Texas 3, Highway 3 there, just to the east of the Gulf Freeway, 2.5 inches in just the last hour. So flooding certainly a concern here. Again, all the way up towards NASA Road and again the Gulf Freeway. So ponding going to be a concern. Maybe some flooding. We've had a ton of rain the last few days, so it's not going to take much to see flooding in this area. So generally speaking, on average in this area, out towards that bullseye, we've had, again, about 2 inches of rain, but in some of the higher spots, we're closing in on 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. So a pretty impressive storm. As we zoom out, look at the wider shot, another big rainmaker out towards Brazoria County as you get out towards West Columbia, where we've seen rain totals in the last hour upwards of 2 to 2.5 inches, and then down towards the Sweeney and Old Ocean area. Again, 2 to 2.5 inch rainfall totals radar estimated in just the last hour. So again, big thunderstorms out towards Brazoria County, but the one that we're really keeping an eye on, and the one that we jumped onto this live stream for, is this one here. So again, City of Houston behind the banner up here, there's Hobby Airport. Here's the Gulf Freeway. I highlighted it there, so going through League City, south of League City. If you're driving south in the Gulf Freeway, you can see some really dark clouds out there. That's that big thunderstorm. So from Texas City, San Leon, all the way up towards, as you get up towards, I guess, just south of Baytown, and then going west towards Santa Fe. This is where we're seeing kind of the worst of it right now. Just tremendous amounts of rainfall. And we'll put this into motion for you over the last 2 hours. And you can see the storm kind of formed out of nowhere. It was actually thanks to a little bit of a bay breeze. So coming off Galveston Bay and then a sea breeze coming in from the south. Those two intersected, and that's what led to the development of this thunderstorm. And you can see it's actually kind of stationary. So it's not moving right now. It was producing some pretty strong wind gusts, and we did have a hail signature with this within the last 15 minutes. The hail signature is gone, but the wind gust potential is still there. So again, 60 to 65 mile per hour winds, a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rainfall, and the storm isn't moving much, so flooding could be a concern here. Places like League City, down to Texas City, as you get towards Santa Fe, Dickinson as well. This general area here again around Highway 3, Highway 146, and the Gulf Freeway. These are all areas that are going to have some pretty rough conditions as we go through the next 20 to 30 minutes, and then I think eventually the storm will kind of collapse and start to wrap things up. More storms, though, are expected to lift north. As we zoom out, you can see we did have this line of storms. Does look kind of messy now. Looks like it's kind of falling apart, so I would be surprised if these storms were very organized by the time they got to the city. That being said, we're starting to see new development here out towards Sugar Land here. So out by the 99 connector between Katy and Sugar Land, going out towards Richmond, and then more downpours as you get out towards our western areas. So this could develop here across the city as we go through the evening. Umbrella is definitely going to be handy here as we get into the dinner time hours. But one more time, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Galveston County, getting into extreme southeastern portions of Harris County here, out towards League City, Taylor Lake Village, as you get even just to the south of the Beltway. This is in effect until 3:45, so another 20 minutes left on this warning. We are going to be keeping an eye on this storm. Of course, if anything new pops up, we'll jump on, we'll give you the update. Otherwise, we will see you coming up in just over a half an hour on the 411.